Hello, and welcome to Empowered, the podcast. My name is Linda, and I am your host. I am an empowerment coach, a spirit junkie, a realtor, a proud mom, and a dog mom. I'm also an animal advocate, a child advocate, and someone that overcame a lot of challenges and trauma in my life. This podcast is packed with powerful content, inspiring conversations with amazing guests who will help you heal, grow, and evolve into a better version of you so you can attract in your best and most empowered life. I don't know about you, but I'm not here for mediocrity. I'm here for an abundant, blessed life. Life does not have to be so hard. That is an old program. We can do less and attract more, and I know this to be true. I love bringing you this powerful information. I hope you enjoy, learn, and grow. Have a beautiful day. Hello, and welcome to Empowered, the podcast. I'm your host, Linda Brand. Thank you for being here. Today, I have an amazing guest, one of my favorite people actually out there in the coaching community. Her name is Tracy Litt. She is the founder of the Litt Factor and the School of Becoming, an international best-selling author, podcast host, science and spirituality teacher, and emotional healer. Tracy also holds her licensing in professional coaching, neurology, somatics, and hypnotherapy. Her revolutionary institute, the School of Becoming, integrates consciousness, neuroscience, healing, and energetics to help their students evolve into the next level version of themselves. It all starts with the core curriculum, identity evolution methodology, mind magic. In every experience, the School of Becoming delivers. Women experience a depth of love, connection, and community that is unparalleled. As Tracy states, community is the medicine. And I'm so excited to talk to her and share her journey and her beautiful soul and her authentic amazingness with you. I love her so much. Tracy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to hang out.
Thank you. I got your book, Worthy Human, I don't know, a long time ago it feels like, and it was so good. And I've shared it with everyone. I literally think that book should be required reading.
Thank you.
For every single person on the planet. So tell us a little bit about you and your journey and wherever you want to begin, and then what you're doing in the world, which is incredible.
Thank you. Thank you. So, I was born in Brooklyn and raised in Jersey. And I share that because I moved to Florida when I was in middle school, but you will never take the Jerseyness out of me. My story is similar to many of yours. I followed the order of operations. I did what I was told to do based on the external success measurements under which we were all raised. And in doing that, found myself a single mother with an 8-month-old daughter, completely lost in whose life it actually was. And realizing the depth of my own unworthiness that I had never become aware of and what I was tolerating as a result. Thankfully, my first dark night of the soul came. And in that crying and snot bubble shaking on the ground, the silence that came in after that allowed me to hear my highest self for the first time. And I didn't know that that's what I was really experiencing. And that was a very clear message that I could either continue to be a victim of circumstance or I could get up and create a new life, not only for myself, but mostly driven by my 8-month-old daughter, right, who's now 20 and the most delicious thing in the world. And then in continuing to do that, ended up as a vice president of human resources. And then my higher self, came back again because I was like, okay, I should be happy now, right? Like I did all the things. Here I am, and I have a 6-figure job, and I like my job, and they like me, and I own a house, and I have a car, and I have a kid. Like that's the bill of goods that were sold. And I had been ignoring everything that was happening internally the whole time. And then my higher self came back again because I was getting the very, very clear message that, I was truly meant for more, that there was more for me to do in my gifts as the vessel that I am. And I was being tapped to become the vessel and the, the communication piece for really, really imperative messages that we all need as we wake up and elevate our consciousness and create lives that we're not trying to vacation from. And that's when I found the personal growth and human potential industry. And it's like any other thing, Linda. It's like you don't know it exists until you know it exists. And it felt like I climbed through a wormhole. And I was like, what is this place where people are talking about all the things that I care about and all the things that I don't even know yet that I care about? But there was a resonance, right? You just know when you tap into this world, you're like, yes. And it took me 2 years. Oh, go ahead.
What year was it? What year was it that you explored? And then, because I know you have a Jewish background, as do I, and I'm just curious, like, when did you learn that we're spiritual, energetic beings having a human experience? Was it then when you got deep into this? And I love self-development also, and I'm so in love with what you teach and everything. But what year was it, and when did you start?
Well, I had always had an inkling of something like that because my mother, before she passed, had a highly spiritual journey in the last 3 years of her life. And I was exposed to things, but as a young 20-year-old, I had no idea what I was perceiving. But the seed was planted, but not consciously. And then when I was sitting in that corporate job and literally feeling like my soul is dying, like I cannot stay here for the next 30 years and then retire and then die. I started researching, like, well, what are you going to do then, right? Like, there is both the strategic need to the soul work. So if this isn't what I'm going to do to contribute to the world, to create revenue, to, give my energy to something greater, what am I going to do? So I started researching, and that's when I came across it. And then in my own discovery realized, oh, the only problem we actually have is that we're way too human, way too often. And we're missing out on this whole spirituality as science component of our existence. And that's when I started to put it together. Oh, what if everything we did was rooted in the scientific truth that we're spiritual, energetic beings having a human experience? And what changes for people, especially leaders and entrepreneurs, right? When they go, oh shit, that's the game we're playing, and I can come in and teach you which lever to pull at which point, game on. And that's what happened.
Game on. I love it. I love it. You always, you say, lighten up. We aren't getting out of here alive. And I love it. I freaking love it because it's true. It's freaking true. And I am one that needs to lighten up, period, always. But, being a single mom myself and always feeling like the world is on my shoulders is, and growing up without having the religion, really. My dad chose to be an atheist. My mother's side, they were from Russia, and we had a Christmas tree, and I don't think they knew the holidays. And just growing up like that, I just got in a lot of trouble, had a lot of problems. But, anyway, so you also say a couple things. You say we must do the internal work of identity evolution because if we don't, we will build businesses around our trauma responses, around our emotional addictions, around our old identity. And that is just speak on all of that for the people that don't know what they're.
It's so good. Like it really is. As I listen to you say my own words back to me, my body starts to vibrate and shiver because that's the difference between being asleep and awake, right? It's the difference between going, okay, wait a second. If I continue to be driven externally, right? The do, and the more, and the hustle. And even when you are awake and highly conscious, you still do. It's not the absence of doing. And I think that's a misconception that I'd like to help course correct for everyone. It's the energy from which you come when you're doing the do that changes dramatically. And then that changes the outcomes of all of those things. So when you consider that when you are, I'm not going to include in this piece the ancestral wounds and epigenetics and things that gets handed down to us. Let's just talk about each of us in this particular lifetime. From third trimester in our mother's wombs until about 8 years old, we are all subconscious mind. And we are like a video camera that's turned on 24/7, 365, and we're taking it in and we're taking it in and we're taking it in. And when we're all subconscious mind, when we take it in, we self-internalize. So we take it in through the lens of, oh, my parents are fighting. That must mean I don't matter. Oh, my sibling didn't share that toy. That must mean that I'm not significant, right? Oh, my dad left when I was 2. I could have done something better. So we end up growing up with this internal program of not enoughness and a nervous system feeling of unsafety. So then we create all of these adaptations, adaptive behaviors like control and perfectionism and sarcasm and people pleasing and perfectionism as a means to not experience some of that pain and kind of externally affirm our way to enoughness and wholeness. And then when we grow up and we become founders of businesses, CEOs, if we're not aware of this and come inside and pull the internal lever, we start to develop and build structures around our emotional addictions. Because if you're someone who's used to feeling pressure and overwhelm, you will build an organization that affirms and spins in pressure and overwhelm, right? If you are someone who resonates with, oh yeah, I'm a perfectionist, which you're not, it's an adaptation that you created when you were younger.
There's a lot of narcissists walking around the planet.
Sure.
From all the trauma and the wounds and not knowing that they're narcissists. Because
there's a lot of lack of awareness. There's a lot of lack of awareness. And the point being, if you don't wake up and honor the objective of your soul, which is to come in and work on yourself, then you will build systems and structures around you in business, in relationships, in marriage, in motherhood that affirm everything you don't want. And then you will be resentful and frustrated and annoyed and not realize that it's your own doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the title of your book, Worthy Human. What is
because you are the problem and the solution.
Yes, that was brilliant. And it's so true because we do create our realities. I study the Course in Miracles and I know that you reference that, and it's so in Gabby and all the people that teach that stuff. And it's so powerful. We are not our minds. We are not our bodies. I always tell this to my audience and to my clients because we have more control than we realize, because we get to decide how this works. And that's what you teach. And that's why I'm in love with you. And I was in love with you from the first time Kathy Heller had you on her podcast. Then I got your book, Worthy Human. And then you just blew up. And I am so loving everything, like the School of Becoming. I mean, yeah, we have to become this better version to attract better, to have what we, all the things. So tell us, okay. And then, so when you were the single mom and you got out, you realized you had an awakening, you realized you got your way into the self-development and everything. What happened from there? Tell us what happened from there. And
I didn't actually tap into self-development until I was a VP of HR. Later on, once I wasn't a single mom anymore. Oh. So I didn't explore personal growth until my soul was dying in that corporate job, because I picked myself up from being a single mother. I masculine energied my way all the way through, because this is really important. It's not that you can't be successful if you don't work on yourself. There's so many highly successful people that are sleeping.
Right.
It's a total shift in understanding what holistic success is, understanding that, yes, life is in fact supposed to feel good. Yet you're supposed to feel something at all, right? I can't begin to tell you how many wonderful women come into the school because they hit the 7 figures of success and they're like, but I didn't feel anything actually. I got the metric, but I forget about not celebrating it. I didn't feel it. Right? So this is really about, how do you want to live? What kind of lived experience do you want to have? Because you can totally have the keep your head down, hustle till you die. I don't actually have an opinion on it. What I want is for us to realize that you have all the power, and the awakening will come. I would love it to come through choice instead of catalyst. Right? Most people wait and need to have job loss, death loss, divorce, right, some sort of dis-ease hit them to go, oh my God, maybe I should take a look at my emotional suppression and congestion, my limited thinking, the anger I haven't felt in years, how powerful my energy might actually be. That's one of the things I really, really desire the most. Don't wait for the catalyst. Choose.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then what you'll experience is exponential success, and you'll feel good and more open-hearted and more loving. And that's the kind of world I want to live in.
Same. Yeah, same. So here's a personal question. Where did you meet your husband? And when did you come along? Because I know you have the blended family.
I manifested him just like I manifested everything. I met him on JDate, which is the Jewish online dating service. And I had been single and on and off dating online for about almost 5 years by the time I met him. And this is the part of it that's the interesting manifestation piece. So I hit that point where I was like, I'm done online dating. I'm done. Like I could have written 3 books, Linda, on the stories of the dating escapades. Okay. And then I was like, you know what? We're going to be done, because one of the things I recognize is all those dates I went on, I was doing it through chasing, wanting a life partner. And anything you want, you cannot need.
Yeah, the chasing it repels. It repels.
Correct. The chasing and the needing and one more date and maybe this and looking on the site and doing all that stuff. So I made a decision to get off online and be done. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. And here's what I decided. The person that I'm going to be with is currently walking the planet somewhere. How do I know this? I was 32 at the time. I said, because I'm never dating anybody 32 years younger than me. So he's somewhere circulating this earth. And when it's time, he will arrive. And I completely let it go in this, knowing this space of clarity. And I got offline and I was just enjoying my life, and I was dating myself and I was buying myself flowers. And when I didn't have my daughter, I was just loving every moment alone. And I was really satiating, like, yeah, because once you meet the person you're going to be with, you don't unmeet them. And you don't know when that next day is going to come. So I was laying diagonal across my big king bed and loving that I didn't have to compromise where I wanted to order dinner from, and just enjoying and relishing the present moment. And time passes by, and then my dear friend gets divorced, and he says to me, I want to go online and date, but I don't want to feel like I'm doing it alone. Will you come do my profile with me? Yes, of course. So he comes over and we do a whole friend night and we write his profile. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to press publish or whatever. He's like, I just don't want to be online alone. I'll pay for your profile. Just take your old profile. I just don't want to feel like I'm doing it by myself. I'll pay for it. I'm like, fine. I'm not touching it because I'm good. I am like good. He's like, great. Boom. We both go online. 2 weeks later, I get a message from my husband, David. Wow. And the extra interesting part of the story is, he had just gotten divorced and he had sworn off Jewish women. He had just come out of a divorce and he was like, I'm not doing that again. And his mother was like, come on, give it a shot. Go on JDate, check stuff out. He's like, nope, I'm not investing money in this. But he started window shopping a little bit. He saw my profile through window shopping, joined JDate, messaged me, and then married me 11 months later.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
That's the story.
It's a similar story to another girlfriend who met her. She was divorced with two kids, and she did the same thing. Like she was like done. And I think he was the last one before it expired, or when she basically said, I'm done. It's like that surrender thing that surrender is always showing up. And that's, and I'm currently doing what you were doing with taking myself on dates and like buying myself flowers and doing that, because I love my own company. I've learned to do that. So I'm working on that, but I just had to ask. So that's beautiful. And then, so while you were married to him and the corporate job is when you became, okay, beautiful. And then you're just brilliant. So tell us, and you're a teacher. And I saw your Kathy Heller thing where she's the preacher, you're the teacher. Oh my gosh, so good. I'm a teacher too. I feel a natural to it. Thank you. Yeah. And so tell us, let's see. So who were some of your biggest, I know that like your biggest influencers, or like what mentor or book, or did anything change your life that got you into the whole, like, I know you're a Joe Dispenza person, so
Yeah, no, not like that. So I'll talk about Dr. Joe in a minute, but no, it was more me tapping into my wisdom first and how to trust what was true for me and what I was experiencing. And when I first left that corporate job, because it took me 2 years to leave that corporate job to go to coaching school because I was so paralyzed by fear. The first thing I did was started obsessively researching and learning. Yes, I was in actual coaching school, but beyond that, I started creating a specialty for myself, and I was reading and learning about risk and risk perception and biology and the nervous system. And I was hell-bent on finding out, how can I be so convicted and excited about the potential of something and simultaneously take no action? And I knew if I was experiencing that, everybody was experiencing that on some level. And in uncovering and doing all that work, I became a fear expert, and I did a TED Talk on fear, and I had profound channel downloads about how we're supposed to be engaging with fear, because everything we're taught is so wrong. It is not to be overcome or pushed through or just do it. And fearlessness is such a detrimental lie. Your nervous system, because your mind and body is wired for safety and survival, is always going to experience fear every time you are doing something different, more, or bigger than what your brain has evidence for. So if I was able to break that down and make everyone understand it, then everyone would stop feeling wrong for being afraid. They would know how to move through it with such elegance so it never stopped them again. And that's really where my body of work started. And then I found Dr. Joe before he was Dr. Joe, and started reading all of his early books and Dawson Church's early books. And I was going really, really dense material because I realized that I had a capacity to make really hard things sound really simple. And that's when the teaching took off, because it's really actually not that complex. And when I can deliver it to you and you go, really, that's all it is? Yep. Then you'll do it. And if you'll do it, you'll have the transformation.
So good. Yeah. Because you always say your nervous system's fighting to keep you the same.
Yeah. The same. Your mind and body is never going to be like, yes, queen, let's go do that big thing. Yes, let's write the book and expose ourselves. Yes, let's pitch to the stage, because what happens if you get rejected? Don't worry about it. That's not the way it works.
Right. So, yeah, it's, let's see. The truth is, you have nothing to prove to anyone ever, for any reason, or in any realm, in any dimension, in any time, in any space. You are inherently whole. I love it. No, it's music. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's so true. And I empower women with that message too. I'm doing what you did, and I want to know how you fought through the imposter syndrome, because I was listening to one of your interviews with, I think, Kathy, where you said the 2 steps forward, the 1 step back, the 2 steps, the 1 step, like that whole thing. Like, I have a ton of coaches that will be listening to this episode because they love you and they love me and they want to hear what you have to say. So how did you fight through the imposter syndrome when you were having those, like, I know you're an expert on fear, so that probably has something to do with it.
Well, this is the first place that we really need to start, and I'll make sure that we share with you the imposter syndrome as a fallacy piece that I wrote so that you can share it in the show notes. Imposter syndrome is a lie. It's something that we have widely loved to hate and loved to commiserate on, because it allows us to point to a reason that we are not showing up and living into our potential and our greatness. And what's really going on at the core of perceived imposter syndrome, outside of the fact that it was pathologized and then, everyone in the world adopted it, so now everyone perceives it's a thing. And what I am intending to do is make everyone understand it's not a thing, you don't have a syndrome, and you're not an imposter. Here's what you have: a beautifully functioning wiring system, And of course your mind is offering you thoughts of fraudulence. Of course it's offering you thoughts of doubt. Of course it's saying, who do you think you are? What if you suck? What if people judge you? Of course it is. You haven't embodied and become that version of you yet. That's
Right.
what's happening.
Right. And it takes the action you just have to get, like, messy action is how you get the confidence, right? And
evolving your identity.
Yeah.
Come into mind magic.
I
This
know.
is literally what we do. This is literally what we do, because it's not just about messy action, because if you push through and do messy action, it'll boomerang on you. It's about understanding a lot of things that we teach, which is our NIE methodology, right? Neuroidentity evolution. Our program is called Mind Magic, but we run the certification because then you can take the work out into the world and call it your own.
Oh, you have a certification program, like a coaching certification?
We have a certification that literally teaches you how to become a neuroidentity evolution practitioner. And then we give you all of the assets so you don't have to recreate your program or recreate real. And you can just take our work as a school and call it your own and go take it into the world.
Oh, I'm signing up.
Yeah, because and the prereq is mind magic. Because you have to come through your own 9-week semester first. You have to evolve first.
Right.
Have your own experience of it, right? And then you come in and get certified and it's like, what is happening? So being able to realize that it's your understanding of your current nervous system imprint. It's doing somatic work. It's understanding that you're not your mind and how to rewire it. It's letting your next level lead, the one that's like, oh my God, of course, like the version of you that's living out 2-3 years from now, that's really enjoying the vision and reality. That's like, of course there's doubt, but get it, girl. Relax. Like, we got it. It's ours. I'm enjoying it.
Love it.
There's an actual methodology to shifting it at the level of your body, at the level of your mind, and at the level of your spirit.
Incredible. Yeah, I'm super excited. We'll put all those links. I have a huge question. The how within. Where did you come up with that name? What does it mean? Because I'm working on figuring out what that means, but the how within.
Okay, so the how within, this is such a good question. So I was doing this is also so full circle because I'm literally packing our house right now to move into this dream condo, which is where the name The How Within came from. So I was doing a live stream about a year ago, and I was telling the story about how we manifested this condo, and it was $1 million condo, and how it was because of me showing up, me loving my fear, me leaning in, me taking tons of risk, and building the impact company that I built, which then built the revenue of the company, that I was able to be the sole source of writing a $200,000 check so that my husband and I could fulfill our dream and buy this condo. And when I was telling that story, and I was talking about, because I was breaking down the how, and then I said, the how that you think you're after is not the how that you need. The only how that matters is the how within. And then I was like, oh shit, that's the perfect name for a podcast. And there we are.
Okay. So you're saying, like, we're always like, we don't have to know the hows. We just have to have the dream and the goal and the desire. And then we don't need to know the hows. We take inspired aligned action. We go towards our dreams, and then the universe is going to, because if you have a how, then it's like, it can't give you these other ways that it could happen. Right. So the how within. So it's just doing the inner work.
Yeah, it's the how of within. It's knowing, okay, I'm going to do it with a regulated body. I'm going to untether from my emotional addictions because they are bringing in the wrong things that I don't want. It's deciding, what are the elevated emotions of my future? How does, and we do all of this in Mind Magic, how does this higher level, next level version of me that's living in the reality of my dreams, how does she spend her day? What are the
Mm-hmm.
primary emotions that she lives in and day out, right? And we describe her and we get like intimate with her, because you need to be able to build and cultivate a depth and intimacy of relationship with her, because one of the things we teach you how to do is fully let her lead. Fully. Like, I'm talking about like, oh my God, the floor might be coming out from under you. Let her lead. Like the $55,000 contract I signed for my first live event before we had any money to pay for it, and I didn't even have a sales page. Like scary, risky things, and you do them intentionally, and you do them with creating safety at the level of your nervous system, and that's what starts to generate the results. So it doesn't mean that strategy is not important. You need a strategy. You have a strategy for driving to the gym. You have a strategy for how you brush your teeth. It's just, what's the plan? And then how do we go within to align internally so that the plan you're taking is going to manifest in or greater than what you're asking for?
Beautiful. I love it. Oh my goodness. Do you want to go back to the Joe Dispenza?
Yeah. Wherever you want to go.
Yeah, let's go back to that. Just thinking of, everything you're saying resonates with me as far as listening to that's what I wanted to say real quick, is that I have a son. He's a wonderful, amazing, he's one of my spiritual teachers. He's in Tampa. He's a beautiful soul. He's incredible. And he'll say to me, would Gabby, and like, if someone's like texting or someone's whatever, something in my life is happening and I'm like unsure of something, he'll be like, would Gabby do that? Or would Kathy Heller, whatever it was. And I'm like, I love that. And I'll do that. I'll say, this other version of me, right? Because that's kind of a goal. I'm kind of like, resonate a lot with Gabby Bernstein and her teachings and your teachings and, Kathy's as well. But so he'll say, would they do that? And it's a great,
It is. And where I would like to take you is that you understand how to learn to do that for you. Right. Because if we continue to go, well, what would Gabby do, or what would Kathy do, or what would Tracy do, then we're still not bringing ourselves back to the self-trust and we are our own guru that is imperative, right? It doesn't live outside of you. In the beginning, maybe you want to use that once or twice, fine, but it's what would she do? That lives in our methodology. And who is she? She is you, Linda, in your elevated version of you that is living and breathing and marinating and enjoying the reality of that vision. She knows you don't need me or Gabby or Kathy. You need you. And that's one of my biggest missions. We are not gurus. We are just vessels that happen to have the gumption to get loud and say things a lot.
Yeah. Well, what I love about you so much is you're so authentic. You cry, you dance, you scream, you breathe, you do everything, and you unapologetically, and like, you're so authentic. And I am that way myself. I'm so honest. I tell the truth. Like, I feel like there's no other way to be in life or business. It's but honest, and forthright. But you're so like that vulnerable piece, and I listen to your podcast and you'll be crying, or I just, and I love it. I love that, because you're a real person and you're sharing. But I think with the Gabby thing, I think he was just saying, putting me equal to, right? That's, equal to.
Oh yeah, equal to, and right? Yeah. He's also enforcing is like, Yeah. We know. We don't trust ourselves.
Yes, that's right. 100%. Yeah. Okay. And then the self-love, I've been on that journey for so long, and that's gigantic. I know, that's a big piece, right? And then recently on your podcast, you're talking about the uncomfortable conversations, and you have a new course around that. I want to share a little bit about that, because it's so powerful and important.
Thank you. So it's happening June 18th. It is a single 3-hour virtual masterclass. You'll get the replay for life, and I'm giving conscious communication scripts. We don't communicate enough. And when we do it from our wounded place, from our adaptive behaviors. We hedge and we hide and we shrink and we passive aggressive, or we lob shit over really aggressively. And it's like, wait a second. It's kind of like how worthy human came to be, right? The truth is that you are whole. The truth is that you are already worthy. And when you can learn how to function and communicate and operate from that inherent worth and that inherent wholeness, you don't need to overassert and you don't need to shrink. You can simply stand in your power and be direct. Ask for what you need, share the news, have the performance conversation, get your sexual needs met by your partner in the bedroom, say something to your children and stand by it. Whatever the circumstances are, you have needs and it's your responsibility to meet those needs. And if we don't all learn how to be conscious communicators and lean into uncomfortable conversations because they're supposed to be uncomfortable, then we don't get to enjoy what we're capable of in our teams, in our partnerships, in our motherhood, in our friendships, and in our own relationship with ourselves. So I saw it and I saw it and I saw it and I saw it. I said, great, I'm going to make a class. So I made a class and now you guys get to come.
Your class, I mean, the things that you create, it's everyone needs this. I mean, most everyone needs this, especially people who grew up with challenges and, lack of parenting and whatever. Like I just had earlier a conversation with this amazing woman who has helped 2,200 survivors from, she calls it intimate terrorism instead of domestic violence. And she is a badass. She wrote a book, It Takes a Woman. But the point is, she grew up with an alcoholic parent and all these, same thing. A lot of us are walking around wounded, trauma, whatever. But the point is, we haven't been taught this communication piece. So you're just serving so much with your class because it's needed. That's all I wanted to say. It's needed. And just because so many of us are just, didn't have that. And I actually was communicating with a guy online briefly, because I got off everything and then I'm just on one right now and whatever. It's not a focus, but it's a desire. And so we were communicating and I knew from our phone call Saturday night that I wasn't interested. And instead of disappearing and instead of just not doing anything, I communicated because of you, actually. I mean, partly. Yeah, partly. I was like, I want to communicate because I feel like this is something I prefer that I would want done towards me. I want to know why instead of not knowing. So I kind of just said how I felt about a few things that were said and his response and what I would have rather had and what I'm looking for. And I said, I hope that this is well received or respected, whatever. I said something nice, but I just wanted him to not just disappear. And so, yeah, he just didn't respond and that's fine. It doesn't matter. But I felt good that I communicated, right?
That's the point. You're doing it to honor yourself, whether or not someone responds at all or in the way that you need them to, or in a completely way, in a way that would be, adversarial. None of that matters. This is about you putting your head on your pillow at night and be like, you know what? I showed up for myself. And the reason why we need classes like this is because we are not being taught it anywhere. How are we supposed to know something that we don't know until someone comes and teaches it to us?
Exactly. And we're adults. I'm an adult, so I can have a conversation.
Right. Exactly.
So what else? So your husband must be so proud and excited for you. What does he do? What is his line of work?
Amazing. He has a degree in accounting and tech, and he is a head of operations for a law firm right now. And he does all of the people and the systems and the processes and mixes it all together. And he's amazing.
Yeah. And then you have the 3 girls that you have I love how I didn't even know it was a blended family for so long because you always talk about them as, your 3 girls. And I just love that so much. So yeah. And you're empty nesters and going to that's so beautiful. Yeah. I'm an empty nester. I have my little dog. He's my little buddy. But yeah, I changed my whole life 2 years ago. Do you know Gina DeVee?
I know who she is. I do not know her.
Okay. Because when I first found you, I was like, you're like Gina DeVee and Kathy. Was it you? Kathy and Gina or Gabby and Gina. I don't know. You were just like a mix and I just love it. So anyway, I was at her event in Miami and I had a divine download that I belonged to Florida. And I came back to the table and I told my two friends and they're like, oh my God, you're moving to Florida. And I was like, I don't know. How's that going to happen? And, the fear and all that, but the universe, everything fell in place. And now I'm here. So
Hey.
yeah. And I have a podcast and I'm like 3 years ago, someone said, you're going to be living in Florida. You're going to have a podcast. I'd be like, what? Really?
Amazing. Well, I'm about to announce, so you and your beautiful community can hear about it first, a 1-day retreat in Florida on August 30th. I'm actually going to be announcing it and inviting after uncomfortable conversations. 1 day. And there's also an opportunity to upgrade to do a little bit more space with me if you want. It's called Capacity. And it is going to be phenomenal. It's Friday, August 30th. And I would love to share the information with you and all of your beautiful listeners because there is nothing like touching each other in real life.
Oh, absolutely.
There's nothing like hanging out without the Zoom and feeling each other's energy even deeper and going into spaces and places. And Capacity is all about how to expand your capacity to hold the goodness, the success, and not project it away from yourself.
Yeah. And that's what I've been doing. I've been hiding for a while behind, my emotional addictions and such. I'm aware. I'm very aware. I'm very, that's one thing. And I always teach to become the observer of your life.
Yeah.
So I'm super aware, but that sounds amazing. Is it in Miami or where's it?
It's in Palm Beach at the O Resort. It's stunning 5-star diamond resort. And we are going to have the best day ever.
Yeah. Didn't you have one there in January? I wanted to come badly, but
yeah, that was Powerhouse. That was our 3-day immersion. We're doing something different next year that's bigger, 3 days, but this is really, I was craving, I just want to touch and be together. So, and 1 day is such an easy thing to say yes to, right? And then we have a great room rate and you can extend it for yourself if you want, but just coming in and retreating away from the day to day and gaining some perspective and being with successful, like-minded, conscious women. That's all I want to do.
It's amazing. Yeah. You've built such an amazing, the School of Becoming. How long have you been at this? Because you've built so much.
I am a true visionary and I move very quickly when I'm inspired. So I started building the programming in 2017. That was when the Litt Factor was born. And then Mind Magic, the first iteration was 2018 and I kept iterating it, making it better and better. And then, in September of this past year, I decided that the Litt Factor was going to become the parent company and I birthed the School of Becoming because I always wanted to be a teacher and it felt aligned. We need it to be more obvious. You need to go back to school because everything you got in school was fine, but very inadequate to what it takes to be the co-creator of your life. And I know that I can help. So we built the school with all of the already proven programs. All of that has been around, but the way that we are showing it to you and giving it to you is different.
Beautiful. Amazing. Yeah, you're welcome. This has been amazing. Anything else? Let me think. What else do I want to ask Tracy Litt? I love Tracy Litt. The book Worthy Human. Such a great book. What inspired that? The worthiness thing?
Well, I'll tell you the actual story that literally when it hit me and when the title hit me and everything. And there was a part of my ego that wanted to write a book because I struggled with a core limiting belief of I'm not smart enough my whole life. Skipped second period, didn't go to college. It was deep. It ran my life choices. So there's a little bit of that in it. And then it was, oh my God, the work I'm teaching is working. Let me get it out to as much people as possible. Let's write a book. But this is actually beautiful and a great way to kind of close this session out for everybody who's listening. So I went to a foot spa. If you know what a foot spa is, it is like a massage place, but you're not taking all your clothes off and doing a massage. You're sitting first, and then they put your feet in water, and it's really great. And they do your neck and your shoulders, and then you sit in this beautiful lounge chair, and they do reflexology. It's a foot spa. It's great. So I am sitting down, and this is, let me see, the book thing is up there. So my publisher gave me this frame thing. So it's 2018 when this happened because the book hit in 2019. So I'm sitting at the foot spa. And I had pulled the straps of my tank top down because I love a good rub, and I like it when you like get in there. So the masseuse who was assigned to me had put a towel over my shoulders, right? And he starts rubbing me. And I'm sitting there with my eyes closed, and I start to have this battle in my head. And I'm like, why does he have a towel on? I don't want the towel on. I don't care. I just want like direct skin. I want it to get in there. And then I'm like, but don't say anything. You don't want to say anything because like maybe this is their protocol. Like maybe this is what they have to do. Why don't you just say something? Why aren't you saying something like you're paying for this service? Just get your needs met. And I'm doing this whole fucking, right? Linda, this is like what's really happening in my head. And now it's like 20 minutes in, and then I'm going, and now you've wasted like half your massage, sit in your head, thinking about whether or not, right? And then I finally, after all this time, I was like, okay, just say it. So I just looked at him, I'm like, do you think, in this very meeky, passivey way, I was like, do you think maybe it's okay if you like just like take the towel off so I can just like, I'm okay with it? And he was like, okay, like it was nothing. He's like, okay, great. And he takes the towel off and he continues on. I come home from that moment in time and I open my computer and I just start not thinking, channeling, just writing. Like, what the hell was that? What the hell was that? Oh my God. Okay. Wholeness, worthiness. Because then I started observing, also I'd been observing like people around me and how they act and their attitudes. And there was either this like shrink, hedge, hide, I'm fine, it's fine, don't worry about me, right in the corner. Or the pendulum was swinging directly into the opposite direction of like condescending, over-asserting, slightly aggressive, push to get it done. And then I went, oh my God, both are doing the same thing. Their root cause is trying to affirm your worth because you feel unworthy. What if there's a place in the middle? What if there's this balanced center point where we're just worthy humans, where we're just already whole, where it's inherently the truth of our birthright? And what happens when we operate from that space, where we don't hide or shrink and we don't over-assert or get aggressive to prove ourselves? We just speak.
Right.
Where the human was born.
That's amazing. The reason I was laughing so much is because I had a massage recently and he had a sheet covering my part of my body and I was like, why is there a sheet? Right. Like he'd do the sheet on my legs, like, and then it was the weirdest thing. And I was literally having the same inner dialogue going, should I say something? Like it was the weirdest thing. So I was like shocked that you're telling me almost the same exact story. Like why? And
right, but that's literally where a lot of the work came from. That's where the book came from, because I knew everyone is having this back and forth craziness in their heads. It's not just me.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. But I was like, why? Yeah. It's like this fear. And it's the same thing with like, when I was at Trader Joe's and I bought something and then I walked away and I remembered, oh, wait, you have something at home you wanted to return. Should you go back? Oh, I'll just wait till next time because I don't want to It's like all these. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. So good. Yeah. Your book is so good. You're welcome. Yeah. Worthy Human. Powerful stuff. And then, Jamie Kern Lima just came out with her Worthy book. And that book, for some reason, I mean, your book was amazing, is amazing. I love it. But like, somehow hers affected me where like, oh, this is the missing piece in my issues. This is like what I have going on. This is why I don't have what I want. It's a worthiness thing. And then I'm like, I'm going to teach this because we teach what we need, right? And I just started digging deep into it and like realizing so many of my issues are around that.
Everyone's are.
Yeah.
Until you work on it.
Yeah.
Thoroughly, not in the perpetual self-help way, but in the lens of you're already whole, Linda. You don't achieve worthiness.
Right.
It's the truth of who you are and what you are. It's your ability to accept that truth and then grow and create from that state. Yeah,
absolutely. Do you think that I kind of think that a lot of the mental health problems all are around this worthiness thing?
Of course it is.
Yeah, that's what I think. I literally think this is the cause of like so much mental illness is everyone feeling unworthy. They're just not feeling worthy when they just don't know that they are.
Mm-hmm.
NPR just for being live. Oh my gosh, so good. Thank you for being here. It's been amazing. I love you so much.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you in Palm Beach and in the Mind Magic.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'll make sure we give you all those links, and, I can't wait to see you and everyone in this gorgeous community who is ready to become.
When is the next Mind Magic? Do you have it?
Yes. If fall semester, which is the last semester of the year, starts September 16th, we'll be enrolling for it towards the end of August.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. I loved talking with you.
Thank you. Same.
Yes. And good luck with your move. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I will see you soon in all the spaces and places, and hopefully in both uncomfortable conversations and capacity.
Yes. Are you, so you're renting your house? You're going to rent your home, current home?
Yeah, we're renting our house out and we bought the condo.
Smart.
Yeah.
Get an income out of it, right?
Yep.
All right. Take care.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Okay.
Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. It means so much to me that you're here. I know you have many options of things to listen to. If you did enjoy today's show, please share with someone you think would benefit. I would love to grow this audience and help as many people as I can. Also, leaving a review means so much to me. I would love it if you could leave a review. I hope you have a blessed day and live empowered. If you're looking for a coach, lindabrandcoach.com. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, all the places. Take care, everybody.